people can hear me. I see we have a few people in the chat already. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. Talk amongst yourselves. You got Richard over there. You got Jeremy. And hopefully I'll be able to hear myself talking in just a second. And then I could take these headphones off. Indeed, it is working, which is always good to see. So we got a few things going on today. There's a few interesting stories out there that we'll go over. I'll answer a few questions, of course. And if you're new to the live streams, welcome. A lot of times what I'll do is just talk about some things that have been going on for me this week, answer a few questions and that sort of thing. This week is interesting because there are many like offers out there. So a lot of my friends have courses or just little things going on. So I'm going to mention a few of those today. I try not to, go on and try and sell too much, but people ask me about these things. So I'll let you know. A couple of them are interesting right now because Amazon changed their commission rates on April 21st, just last week. It's been, a hot topic of discussion for a lot of folks. And a lot of folks are going to have to retool their sites. They're going to have to do more work. If you are just starting, you may not have to do anything different. You may, take the same sort of approach in general. You may shift things a little bit, but if you're just getting started, you're probably going to be doing the exact same thing. You're going to be going through the same selection process for your niche. You're going to do the same keyword research and all that kind of stuff. And I see we have the mature man is also in the house. So yeah, let me know where you're from. Everyone say hello. I'm going to play a few clips. And one other interesting thing going on is the fact that I have my course, my premium course, 5-figure niche site is still out there. And I'll explain a little bit about what's going on with it and the changes that are going to be made. But the fact is things have changed, but a lot of things are still the same. And one of the similar things that I've seen is after a little while, when I haven't released the course, I only open it for enrollment a few times a year. When I haven't released it in a while, people email me very often about enrolling, getting more information. When is it going to open back up? And it's going to open back up next week. Now, I'm very generous with the refund policy just in general. I have a 60-day refund policy that's pretty good. You don't have to do any kind of crazy, proof of like launching a site, and you just have to give it a good effort in general. Give it a good effort and you'll be in good shape. But the crazy thing is there's so many folks that still want to enroll, and I'm going to open it up. And I have right on the sales page, hey, things have changed. You're not going to be able to make as much as you used to be able to make in 2016, for example, or even 2019. And I think the transparency is good. Number one, I'm not saying, hey, everything's the same. Everything's not the same. Things are definitely shifting. Things are changing. We're going to have to change the business model a little bit, and we're going to have to pivot and react and, work a little harder. That's great. It's fine. We're going to have to do it. But I put it right on the sales page, and I know some people selling various products basically are not doing it. They're just saying, hey, everything's great. Yeah, they changed it, but it's basically going to be fine. They're going to have to adjust. They're going to have to make their offering more well-rounded. And that's exactly what I'm doing. There's some people in the course, in the chat here. I see Chunky Moose out there, Kushal, Gizmo Plans, Justin Seals. And Justin was just on the show, I think like a week or something. I can't remember how long ago. He was on the show like a week and a half ago, and Justin's going to be joining me live next Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. Cool thing is Justin, even with the commission rate changes, he's on track to make record profits. So, his site was kind of on the way up, and yeah, it's not going to go as high as it was, but he has a lot of flexibility. And Justin, I have a few ideas for you. We haven't talked in a little while since the change came out, but yeah, I got a couple ideas I think that are going to work well for you. Kashif, what's going on? Chunky Moose out of Melbourne. And we have Darub, what's up? Mian from Pakistan. Pastor Duke, also friend of the show, is currently pivoting. Duke, what do you have in store? What's been going on? Got Marcus, got Dan, Waleed, Alex. Alex is in the course as well. So, I mean, there's a handful of people that literally just enrolled in the last week or so. I do have an evergreen funnel, which if people are interested, let me know in the chat. I'm going to be dismantling my evergreen funnel and my whole funnel. And I can explain some of that. That's a good riff that I can go on for a little while. But let me tell you some of the stuff we have going on today that we're going to talk about. Number one, I think I mentioned in more than one video already that Amazon changed their commission rate structure. It's a major impact. There was a story on CNBC. There's probably going to be more coverage soon on some of these topics. Other bloggers, other folks like myself have been talking about it quite a bit. And, big YouTubers, big podcasters, Amazon was kind of like the easy way for a lot of people to monetize their content. So there's a couple live streams out there. I did one by myself, did one with Jesse Lakes from Geniuslink, and earlier this week I did one with Matt Giovanisi from moneylab.co. He lives locally, even though we can't actually, go hang out right now. But we have a beer because we did this live stream, and I was like, hey, it'll be cool. We can have a beer. He's a home brewer. I think you may be able to see some of the beer books behind me. That's a whole shelf, and there's a whole other shelf. I have more beer books than I have business books. So Matt and I talk about it. We look at his product, and we'll actually pull it up today. It's he has a few things going on, but the main thing is Lasso, and it's basically an all-in-one WordPress plugin for affiliate marketing. So it does a lot with Amazon, but they luckily had the foresight to look ahead and think, hey, you should be able to work with any affiliate program. And I think AmaLinks Pro may have that capability, and I'm going to be chatting with those guys soon to figure out, what's going on. Further, one of the best ways to get more out of your content is to do an audit and figure out like what you need to fix, things to change. There's a course there that is out. Some folks that I know are helping to promote it, and it's sort of in conjunction with them. And there's another course, by the way, that one's pretty technical on the SEO side. So if you're fairly advanced with SEO, something to look at. And finally, some other friends of mine have more of a side hustle type course. So if you're not into SEO and you're like, I'm not sure if a niche site is for me, you probably like niche sites if you're watching this, but Etsy Printables. So this is a kind of a thing that I didn't even know existed, but there's so many side hustles out there, and there's it's a cool way to take advantage of some seasonal topics and some trends that are out there. And lastly, I need to mention that this live stream is brought to you in part by Ezoic, and Ezoic is one of those Google certified partners. And I was supposed to speak at a conference that they put together with Google that would have been on April 3rd. And I was so excited and I was so scared. And I actually joined Toastmasters just to prepare so that I wouldn't freak out and that I would do a really good job when I presented. Of course, it was canceled. It was going to be in New York City at the Google office, and it was going to be epic. But luckily, they canceled it. I imagine it'll be rescheduled sometime in the future. Conferences are going to happen again. I think it'll be a slow start, and maybe some people are going to be hesitant to travel. And when you think about it, I mean, it's like putting all these people that weren't around each other from all these different locations, perhaps internationally. So it may be a scaled down situation, but nevertheless, Ezoic, they do some display ad things, and they also have a new product called the Site Speed Accelerator, and it helps you improve your Google page speed insight scores and does a lot of things to help optimize the page speed. So check it out. There's a free 7-day trial. There's a link in the description for Ezoic, so just follow that. You could sign up. You don't have to put in any billing information, no credit cards. They just need your website, name, email address. You can get it going from there. All right, so I'm going to hop back to the chat before I start digging into some of the topics. Fasel, what's up? Waleed, and yep. And like I mentioned before, I know a lot of people are just hopping on. So Justin is going to be joining me live on Tuesday. We're going to do a little live stream and just do a little catch up, because when I interviewed him, he was aiming for record income. The commission rate changes came out. He's still going to hit record income, but things have shifted. But he's pumped and he wanted to come on live. Oh, David. David is also in the course. What's up? Did you get the email I just sent you a minute ago? Like 5 minutes ago. Umar, Dan, what's up? Oh, and Duke is telling us that he is pivoting to some drop shipping and let's see, tech grade basically. So you're building an online story that you drive all those Amazon leads to. Awesome. Yep. So it's a time to pivot. I think there's some good opportunities because you're gonna have to shift around. Justin is asking if Lasso does tables. I don't know. I think it may not currently, but I can talk to Matt because I think they're in a stage where they're rebranding and redoing some things. So I know they're working really hard on that, but they're also interested in adding new features. All right. And I see some other questions out there as well. And one that I'm going to hit right away. So Marcus is asking about getting into Ezoic with less than 10,000 visitors per month. Marcus, if you're the Marcus in the course, I am working with Ezoic to get that done for us. So there's a pilot program and I'm in talks. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say that, but there's some options for you. I'll put it that way. There's some options and I think we can get it done. I've been trying to work that out. So, all right, I'm gonna mention a couple things. So one interesting topic, and I'm trying to learn how to use my software a little bit better. Let's see if we can do it. So I'm going to share my screen, and I should be in the little window at the top, but I'm not. So I'm just going to hop off. But I saw this story over here. Amazon uses data from third-party sellers to develop its own products. And it was a Wall Street Journal investigation. And I think they were using data that they maybe weren't supposed to. It's a little bit unusual, right? A little fishy. The findings directly contradict Amazon's previous messaging around how it uses third-party seller data, including testimony that an executive gave to Congress last year. So that seems unusual. And I've heard of, this sort of thing going on, essentially where, I guess the situation is, let's say you're an FBA seller that's fulfilled by Amazon. You've white labeled a product. You've done all this work. It's selling great. And Amazon sees that it's selling great. They have data. And then they're Amazon. So they go and they work out whatever they have to do with a product manager. And then they start selling the same thing. And guess what? They have all your data. So apparently they're doing a few things. That maybe aren't on the up and up. So I thought that was an interesting story. And I also, I'll leave it at that, but CNBC had some coverage on the Amazon associate commission rate change, which was kind of interesting because my wife even saw that story before I mentioned anything. So I'm going to hit a couple quick topics here. Number one, I'm going to show a clip from an interview that I did from a financial independence podcaster, and it's Julie Berninger. So great interview and a slight departure from a lot of the stuff that we normally talk about, but I have been so interested in the financial independence area, even though I really didn't follow it closely. I've just been saving money and doing, pretty decent savings and no crazy investing or anything too risky. But I've been, making friends, and Julie has a very interesting story, high-tech job, really good pay, does side hustles, got into financial independence, and she was on the show. So I'm going to play a quick clip over there. So let me pull that baby up somewhere. And of course, I can't find it here, but we're gonna get to it in just a second here. Love it, and keep it going in the chat there. I see a lot of questions, and I will definitely get to them. It'll just take me a little bit so I can go through the material, and then I'll answer the questions towards the end. All right, so here is sort of Julie talking about what her team looks like. She's sort of a newer mom as well, full-time job, and a lot of stuff going on. Actually, when we did the interview, she was on maternity leave. So let's get this rolling here.
To give you an idea, in 2019, I had a podcast editor, I had a show notes person, and essentially all I do was create the content, and then I would send it to them, and they would mark it up and send it out. Now, when you have a podcast editor, they often don't make content calls, so it's a little bit more work than a complete hands-off thing, but that was worth it to me. And then I also hired people to write content on millennialboss.com. So I would give them exactly what to write. I would tell them what the headings would be, and then they would just fill it out. Now, sometimes they wouldn't totally get it right in terms of search intent and things I knew, but even just having a starting draft that was completely done for me was just a huge, huge benefit. And I occasionally would hire people for social media, but from a social media perspective, often when you outsource it, there's no real value there. But I do have a Pinterest VA. So a Pinterest virtual assistant who would pin for me. And these are all people that I either knew from the community, and either I thought they were good at something and I pitched them this opportunity, or I found them on Upwork.
Okay. How do you manage the team? Because it sounds like, what is that, 4 or 5 people?
Oh yeah, and I totally forgot. We have VAs. So I have a course with a business partner, and with the course, we also have VAs that answer our emails, and they do cancellations and any type of kind of tech admin work with the course. And then we hire people to be experts in our Facebook group, who it's a paying membership, and people will answer any questions. These experts that we've found, they'll answer any question that you have in the course. And this it was a better value for the students in the course because they got immediate answers to their questions. And for us, we could be more organized. So instead of fielding 100 emails a day of how do I do this? How do I do that? Everything is in the Facebook group. People can answer each other's things, build momentum, and it's more hands-off for us.
Very good. And my one of my assistants that answers some questions for my course, she's on maternity leave, so she's been out for a little while, and I miss her so much. I can't wait till she gets back. So.
Yeah, you definitely realize the value. So I'm in the opposite situation where I've been on maternity leave, and in January I did not want to put the people that work for me under such a tight turnaround because I can't record the episodes so far in advance like I used to. So I stopped working with my editor and my show notes person just for 2 months. And I respect them so much. Just the fact that they have to listen to me and chop my stuff that I say is a lot of work. And I can't wait till I start working with them again.
Yeah, no kidding. So you are doing it all on your own. You're recording it and mastering and all this stuff.
Yes, just for these 2 months because I felt bad. The worst thing you can do to an editor is just hey, here you go. This is going out tomorrow. Can you do this? So I figured I'll just do that to myself, which, having a baby, that makes everything 100 times harder.
Oh my God. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
We don't have. All right. And that was Julie. And I wanted to show you her course because this is just a different side hustle, a different kind of business model that you can get into potentially. So let me try to pull this up. All right. Let's see here. Boom. Okay, so it's an ePrintables course. It's on sale for a couple weeks, and I think it's either a 7-day or 14-day free, not free trial, but a money back guarantee, right? So you can check it out, see if it's a good fit for you. But it's printable on demand. It's kind of crazy, and they're very transparent about what they're working on. So much so that we could even check out Julie's store. So she identified a niche and it's the bachelorette party games and decor. And you could like see the products. There's templates in the course that you can like check out and like adapt to whatever you want it to be. So let's say there's like a 40th birthday party for somebody like me, and they're into beer. So you could like orient everything around beer. There's wine labels and different things like that. So this is what her store is. And you can see the prices aren't that huge, but it's like printed on demand. You don't have to like have any inventory, and essentially there's very good margins. So pretty cool business model. There's a link in the description. Any of the products I'm mentioning, I'm an affiliate for, but this is a different take and it's lower price. But the thing is, like, if you were making, your commission rate on Amazon on products under $10, not so great. If you're selling printables on Etsy, that's more interesting. There's a lot more room for you to actually like make this work out and stuff. So it's a very, very kind of cool concept. And again, completely off my radar. I did not know this was a thing at all. So very cool. If anyone has questions about it, let me know. You can shoot me an email and I should be able to take a look at it over there. So let's see. We should be able to get my little view going here. All right. And what's going on in the chat here? I see a couple, I saw one comment that I definitely want to talk about here. So HOTH says, display ad networks charge too much to advertisers and pay too little to publishers. Unless you have millions of visitors, I guess display ads would only buy you a mocha. And I have to strongly disagree, HOTH. I mean, I think a lot of people are, I have friends who make like tens of thousands of dollars per month. Yeah, ad spend is down right now, but there's a lot of fucking mochas. So if you have any like actual knowledge, you can back up your position there. But it's a business model. So if you don't want to do display ads, you have to do something else. So yeah, you have to pick your poison. There's always pros and cons, but it's really easy to, I guess, overreact. And I'm not saying you're specifically overreacting, but it's like, Amazon doesn't pay enough. And then, well, if you do display ads, they don't pay enough. And okay, so what are you going to do? You can make money any way you want to do it. And you have like all the options in the world. But if you're going to go somewhere where there's a market, Amazon's easy because the market was so huge. So if you're going to go somewhere where there's a market, you're definitely going to make compromises to get access to that market. If you're going to start it from scratch, I know Amin asked about email lists. Yeah, I think email lists have been for many years like the way to go. I don't want my traffic to disappear, and I don't want to lose the YouTube channel, and I don't want to lose my podcast, but if all of those went away, I still have an email list that I could send out information and say, hey, I'm doing a new thing over here. If you want to follow along, like, let's go over here. So if everything like went away, it would still potentially be okay. So, and I know, I'll tell you, you were just making a point. Hey, maybe there are some display ad networks that aren't as favorable for either the advertisers and or any of the media out there, but you have to do something. So you got to pick something to work on. It's really easy for us to complain about any little thing. Hey, this, people don't pay us enough, blah, blah, blah. All right. Dan is asking, all right. Dan is a lurker. He's always asking about the KGR. He's asking if it's evergreen. So far, so good. All right. So far, so good. As long as there's an all-in-title advanced command for the search, should be okay. If it goes away, that is probably okay too. There's other ways to figure out what's going on. And let's see, trying to just catch up in the chat. Derek's on, what's up? Hopefully Derek and I will be doing an interview before too long. Derek's aiming for some record income, even with this change. So, all right. A couple other things I want to mention. One other kind of, pretty cool course, I think, that is out by Robbie Richards. Anybody hear of this guy before? Robbie Richards. So he has like sort of a quick hit kind of course. It's on sale for a few days. Again, I'm trying not to give too many offers. It's kind of misdirected and people don't know what to focus on. But if you're, I would say, intermediate to advanced in SEO and you want to do a content audit and figure out what you need to focus on, this course is the one that you need. Now, you can see he does a case study here. You could check out the data in the actual case study if you go over here and watch the video. There's a link in the description, by the way. And I'm not going to go on too long. You can see it's reasonably priced, but essentially, if you make some on-site changes, you typically will see a impact very quickly, often within a week to 2 weeks or so. Sometimes sooner, sometimes it takes a little longer. But the super cool part, and he mentions it right here, you can actually do this as a service. So right now, people are trying to figure out what they need to focus on. If someone has a big site, they may not know exactly what content they need to improve, what they need to do to the content, and so on. The super cool part is you can check out this course, figure out and learn what you need to do to audit a site, and then you can audit people's sites as a service. It is almost guaranteed, almost 100% of the time, if you do a service, you're going to be making money faster. I mean, one of the big complaints that I do see in the chat in general or hear from people is, yeah, if you start a niche site, it's going to be several months before you make any money. You're going to have to put a lot of work in. All true. It's all true. And if you need money faster, if you want to make money sooner, a service is basically the fastest way you could do it. If you can close one client, you potentially can get paid for that work and then do it. Maybe there's a payment plan, maybe you get half up front, and then when you complete it, you get the rest of it. But the point is, if you do a service, you get paid when you do the work, sometimes before you do the work. And this is especially if you're more advanced and you kind of know the moving pieces of content audits and on-site SEO. If you generally have a good idea about it and you know the vocabulary already, this is the kind of course where you can learn how to optimize, learn how to pull together reports, learn how to give a report and an action plan to a client so that they can go execute on it. Perhaps you can upsell them and do the work for them. So check out this content audit course if you're interested in that sort of thing. It's on sale for a few more days here. So it's just an actual case study as well. So a lot of cool stuff going on, and I am going to hop back here, take a look at the chat really quick. Let's see what's going on. Some people are saying they're going to sell their websites, and let's see what kind of questions we have going on over here. Good discussions overall though. Mature Man says, do I use AAWP? I don't. I have used it in the past. And how do I decide which template to use on a page or a post? So since I don't use it, I can't offer anything up. But I would, so I can't offer any actual real advice on that one. But I think, some of my concerns with AAWP is they don't seem to, and I haven't looked at it in a couple months, but they were pulling some data that wasn't actually supposed to be pulled, and they were displaying it on sites, which would technically be a violation of the terms of service. How often are they enforced? Do they check for that stuff anyway? I don't know. And to be specific, it's the stars, the star ratings. And it looks like you can extract that data. There must have been a call for it, but it's stated in the terms of service that you're not supposed to do that. So if I was audited, I would be nervous that, putting any of those star ratings, even if they were up to date, I would not leave them on. So typically I've used Amalinks Pro more recently, and I'm starting to dabble with Lasso. So I'm going to probably have Matt Giovanisi back on the show sometime soon to go through Lasso. There is a link in the description there. There's a 14-day free trial. And, one thing that I really dig about Lasso and just, reviewing the sales page and dabbling with it just a tiny amount is the display boxes look so good. And they kind of look like this. They do have a broken link checker as well. And I think I was going to say there's like one of their little boxes in there that shows you how nice it is. But in general, one of the best things is it works with any affiliate program. All right. So if you are diversifying, if you're putting other affiliate offers in, that is a very good thing, of course. Very good thing. And it's only a WordPress tool, but most people are on WordPress. And generally, it's just a really good tool. It works with Gutenberg if you're into Gutenberg. I'm not. I usually like to just stick with a classic editor, which I'm not sure what's going to happen when they remove the support for the classic editor. I guess someone will develop some other classic editor plugin, but we got time to figure that out. So let's see, and feel free to ask those questions. I will be playing another clip here, and this one's from Justin here, if I could find it. For some reason, things are disorganized on my on my videos here that I'm going to pull up. But this is Justin, who's in the chat, making $350 per month with KGR, and he's actually aiming for a much larger amount this month. We'll see how it shakes out. He's going to be joining me next Tuesday in the afternoon, so look out for that live stream as well.
So I'm making about $350 a month, and the website is just a little over a year old. It's like a year and a month.
Cool.
So.
Very good. Congratulations. That's like a nice trajectory, especially for a busy person like yourself. We were just talking, you have a new addition to the family. So yeah, what's your story overall? Like, what do you do for your full-time gig? And then you could talk a little about your family as well.
Yeah, so I'm in the U.S. Navy, and so I move around a lot, getting ready to move across country again. So it's always fun, takes up a lot of time. Just had a new baby, so she's taking up a lot of time too. So just trying to balance out work and working at home and family. So right on. It's fun.
Well, thanks for serving, of course. And I didn't realize you had all this stuff going on. Like right before we started recording, you were like, yeah, we got the 5-week-old. We're moving soon. Things are packed up. So thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I know that the time's precious right now, so appreciate it. And let's turn back the clock a little bit. And when did you enroll in the course? And do you remember when you first heard about affiliate marketing and stuff?
Yeah, so I think I enrolled like a year and like 6 months ago, something like that, because I had another site before this site that I worked on. But then I first heard about affiliate marketing, I think in around 2016. I signed up for a couple courses that weren't your course, obviously. And they were just really outdated and bad. They had bad information and just kind of steered me in the wrong direction. But I didn't give up. I didn't want to give up because I saw the viability of this and being able to work for yourself. So I kept researching, and eventually I stumbled upon you and a few others that had actual good information, that courses that were actually up to date. And I just started following them, and here I am now. So
cool. Very good. And as far as like the traffic numbers, can I'll get some screenshots from you, but over the last, say, 30 days or the last month or two, like what kind of traffic are you getting on a monthly basis?
It's anywhere between like 3,500 to 4,000 a month.
Okay, so it's not a huge number for the revenue that you're doing.
No, not at all. But I've gotten pretty good with my product review keywords, so those are ranking pretty high. So I think that has a lot to do with the success for money.
Okay, very good. And can you give us some insight into like the special thing that you're doing to rank these product related keywords?
Nothing special. Just
right.
Keyword research. There's nothing to it. Basically, just follow what you preach with keyword research. Really niche down, so that it's really targeted and specific, and just not really caring so much about the volume, because a lot of times I see that the volume doesn't really match up to how much traffic I'm actually getting.
Okay, very good. And I guess you're talking about the keyword golden ratio, the KGR, to
Hmm.
help essentially like get that very long tail, ultra long tail traffic. So
Yep.
yeah, and that's Justin. So he's not doing anything special. He's just publishing content. And sometimes the KGR delivers pretty good, pretty awesome. So hopefully we'll be able to get you to pivot a little bit here, Justin. And like I said, I got a couple ideas for you. All right. And I will hit a couple of questions. I want to thank the folks in the chat that are keeping the dialogue going, helping other people out. That's great. We sort of hit some critical mass where that's happening. Seems like we have a higher quality of people in there. People kind of know what's going on. No, you know what's going on. You're asking smarter questions, which is always amazing. Vicus is on. That is very cool. And let's see, there were a few other items that I wanted to talk about. I used the show notes in the description below as my show notes so I can remember what to do, because sometimes I forget. One of the other areas that I should talk about is just like display ads in general. I know Alte was bad mouthing them, but I have a feeling Alte doesn't have a lot of experience with display ads, which is one of the let me know if I'm wrong, but a lot of times people on the internet they have such strong opinions about things that they actually don't know anything about. I could be wrong, Alte, and I'll give you the benefit of the doubt and assume you're an expert and you've actually gotten a lot of traffic, and then it turned out that display ads didn't work, but I have a feeling that you haven't done anything. All right, so sorry to be tough on you, because my friend John Dykstra has been doing well, and he has a couple courses on display ads and just how he's using them, placement of those display ads, and just different things that he does. So yeah, I see Waleed says, do I have any course for beginners? Yep, it's coming out next week. 5-figure niche site. Keep an eye out for it. There will be content about it. Next Monday, actually, I can let you know some of the cool content that I have coming out. So next Monday, update with Marty McLeod. We actually recorded it before the Amazon commission rate change, but after COVID-19 impacted the world. So we talk about things in that narrow window of time. It's not an old interview. It's just maybe a week and some change old. And then on Tuesday, I'm talking to Justin, who's doing great in the chat there. And then on Thursday, an interview with Adrian Diaz. He is the, I guess, founder at the YouTube channel called Hasta La Vista Boss. I believe there's a blog, but it's mainly a YouTube channel at this point. So I got an interview with him. Last time we talked to him, he was making $1,400 per month, but little mishap happened. I won't go into too many details so Adrian can tell us the story on Thursday. But basically, he was down to $500 this past month due to some poor tracking with affiliate offers that were non-Amazon. So he was making good money outside of Amazon, but the tracking got messed up, so he hasn't been able to collect on that. So Adrian will tell us a little bit more about that, and I think I may have one or two other things going on. There's so much happening, so much happening. And a couple people, I saw someone say, hey, I can't believe that you're still talking about Amazon affiliate marketing. And here's the thing. I'm pivoting, right? So I'm going to be coming out with more content that's more generalized so that it's more useful for more people. Because the great thing with my course, 5-figure niche site, is it was out there and you can make replacement income. If you had a 6-figure job, you can make enough from Amazon, and you still can. It's just harder. It's going to take longer. And I would highly recommend that you have a more diversified situation there. So basically, there's a couple things that I'm going to be looking at. So one, I've mentioned it before, like with the display ads and stuff, there's a couple things that you could diversify with. But the main thing is it's so easy to monetize with Amazon because people are making those purchases anyway. And the market share for Amazon is 38%. They're number one. Number 2 is Walmart at 5%. So you would need to get 7 times more traffic to make up the difference. If you're getting 7 times more traffic, you're probably still better off sticking with Amazon. So the fact is, unless you happen to find a much better offer and it's the majority of your content that is like pulling in like one brand, like, and you're able to hook up with that brand, there's probably some obscure opportunities out there where you can connect with, say, a drop shipper who is running ads. Your traffic to them would be precious and they would probably pay out a lot more. They may pay out 25% and have very generous terms. I'm just making that up, but the fact is, if someone's running ads, you know that they're spending money and there's some stuff that you can do. You could work with them. All right. I'm going to hop back to the chat again. Let me know what kind of questions you have out there. And Dan says, Dan's in a lot of these. He says, I can't make money. I would be kicked off my SSDI. I'm blind in one eye. I can't see out of the other. And I was given a hand with no thumb. I fear going out and doing it, though I know I could. Okay. So that sounds like a rough situation. I don't even know. That sounds tough. Matthew also, I haven't seen you around in a while, but you haven't noticed any negative effect on ads on your website for Amazon sales. Cool. Very good. And you even have them on product pages. All right. And I see David, new student in the course, and looking forward to working with you. And Dan is not in the course. Dan has talked about joining the course, but he's talked about it for a long time. But I'm hopeful, Dan, you don't need to enroll in the course. You can just follow the free stuff. I mean, some people make it work. You don't have to buy the course, right? How's that for a non-sell? I mean, you can do the stuff, right? Like, just, you got to fucking do it. There's like, no one's going to hold your hand and walk you through. I'm not a cheerleader, by the way. I can tell you what to do, but I'm not going to coddle you in any way. I think you know that, Dan. You already know that. So let's look at another clip. I think I got another one from Justin here. Let's see. I think I do. Let me double check. And no, but I do have one from Adrian. The thing I love is, for some reason, my screen, I don't know how to describe it. My file, what is this called? It's like the file folder system, Finder here on the Mac. It has like reorganized everything. I had it all set up and then it sort of like goofed it up. So here's Adrian talking about some of the revenue he's pulling in. And like I said, he'll be joining me next week, not live. We recorded it recently, but you should check out his channel, Hasta La Vista Boss.
Of course, I'm working in construction. Actually, I just got home from work, and I'm a plant operator, to go straight to the point. Last month, my website made 700 plus. I don't have the image in front of me, but 700 plus in December.
Just from Amazon, right?
Just from the Amazon, exactly. And obviously, I have other kind of affiliate programs going on, but not with this website.
Okay. So like from one website, you made 700 from Amazon. Overall, how much are all your websites making? That's what we're trying to get to.
Well, it was 1,400 plus from all my earnings. Yeah, all my earnings, from other programs and all that good stuff.
Okay, cool. Congratulations. I know that's a huge milestone. You're a student of Five Figure Niche Site. And I remember you were lurking in YouTube videos for a little while. And then finally you enrolled back in, was it 2017?
I think it was 2017, yes.
Okay, sweet. And what's the journey been like? Because you were making nothing at the very beginning, and then it's like been slow growth, and now you hit 1,400, which is higher than whatever I thought it was when you shot me an email last week.
Yeah, it's obviously when I've started, when I've started, I believe the website made its first sale after 2 weeks I've launched it, and it was like a Christmas present because it was on the 23rd of December. So I was pretty happy about that, and obviously that gave me a huge boost of motivation to actually keep working on the site. And slowly the website got some traction. um, Obviously, because I was targeting low competition keywords, I was managing to um, get some number one positions very quickly. And I believe that I was having 15 articles on page one and overall on the website when I hit $100 per month consistently.
Very good. And you mentioned like low competition keywords and $100 per month with just a handful of articles, something like 20 or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was even less. It was 15 articles
15.
overall on the website. Yeah.
Okay. And some of them were ranking number one, not all of them.
Not all of the most of them are on page one, and I had most of them on top three, I would say. That's actually was the little success that I had at the beginning. There was no competition, especially because I had written some good how-to articles, which after that I was pointing the people to the reviews that I had on the website, and seems like it worked quite well.
Awesome. Yeah. And I was going to say, a lot of people, I get these questions. I think you see them too, Adrian, where
A lot.
people are like, I've had my site going for 4 months. I have zero traffic. I have not made a sale. I put in $4,000. Like, what am I doing wrong? They're definitely doing something wrong. And you mentioned within 2 weeks after enrolling in the course, right?
Yeah.
You made a sale, and maybe it was lucky, but you still made a sale. So from what you know now, like what is the little missing piece that some people are not getting to not make that sale earlier?
I guess obviously I don't know exactly what that could be, but my guess is that some people, they might targeting the wrong keywords. I've seen this a lot. I have in the last year, I had many people messaging me from Facebook looking to look at the website, and they targeting the wrong keywords. Most of those keywords are actually huge keywords, right? They have like 5,000, 10,000 monthly searches, and you could say that they are seed keywords. Instead of I don't know, best knife for meat, people will go straight for best knives 2020. And obviously that's that's a keyword that you're not going to get to rank for, especially if your website is brand new.
And what do you think people are going for those keywords?
Why, you mean? Is that what you asked? Why?
Yes.
I guess, first of all, because they don't have guidance, I would say. And um, second, probably it's, that's human, greed. I would say, oh, I want a big one. I want a big keyword. I want to make $1,000 per week right now. So, I mean, it takes patience. That's the secret. That's my secret. And others, the people that I know, they have patience with, especially when you don't know anything about this. You need to have a lot of patience.
And that was Adrian. So keep a lookout for his new interview coming out next Thursday. And by the way, a couple unrelated plugs. So I want to plug my dog's Instagram. She has this super awesome jump that my wife recorded. I think it was just today, maybe yesterday. I can't remember. I think it may have been yesterday. But she's Georgie the Border Collie. So that is where you can find unrelated content. And it's mostly just Georgie doing funny stuff. So if you like dogs, you'll probably think it's okay. If you like Border Collies or like Frisbee dog kind of things, she does some crazy stuff. She's a pure athlete. absolutely insane. And my wife was like, I can't believe more people haven't watched it. And I was like, oh man, I think I think I'll let people know on the live stream. Some people like Georgie on the live stream whenever she jumps by. So check out her Instagram, like that most recent video. I think, I mean, it's pretty fun. It's like in slow-mo and she jumps. I don't know how high she jumps, but she could probably jump over my desk here. And by the way, I haven't done an office tour, but I do have a couple things set up. This room doesn't get all that much light. This faces west. So this faces west, but there's a house 20 feet away. So it blocks a lot of the light that potentially would come in. And I'm in the middle of the house. So the kitchen and living room zone is over there. The other bedroom is over here, like the guest bedroom. And basically I'm in this room, this office. There's no closet. It's actually a proper office. There's double doors. I'll do a tour of the house sometime, but the office is great. And the cool part is I got this standing desk. So I'm able to stand up and actually like move around a little bit. It goes up and down. It's one of the sort of mechanical kinds. It doesn't have like the, they have the electronic where you can like push the button and it goes up and down. But this is mechanical. I figure it's probably, I don't know, I've never had one before, but I imagine the mechanical one is slightly easier to repair should any issues happen because you could just kind of see the mechanism in there. I don't know if that's true or not, but when I put it together, I was like, oh, I see how this works versus an electronic one. It could be a little bit funny. So Justin says, Adrian is so right about the keywords. I made the mistake, and I think it's because search volume is higher and you don't realize the competition. And it's back when Justin was using AdWords to check the search volume. And the thing is, you don't know when you're first getting started. I did the same thing exactly. In fact, I probably made like worse and dumber mistakes where I just didn't know what the data was on AdWords, because that's what I used back at the time, the keyword planner, I think it was called. The keyword planner actually gave you some good data, and I didn't know what the competition level meant. I just was totally lost. I didn't know what was going on. But I kept going, and I just kept making little improvements along the way. I mean, that was now it's 7 years ago when I first got started, about 7 years ago. And it's April right now, so I know I found Smart Passive Income in like late March or early April of 2013. So, I've slowly improved things here and there. Now, I asked earlier, and I didn't see much, but I was telling people that I was going to have to like redesign my funnel. Is anyone interested in seeing like what my funnel looks like for the course and like the things that I work on? I can do a little sketch. We'll have to pull up a little window, but let me know in the chat just so I know. And keep a lookout. I'm going to do a quick summary while I'm waiting for people to mention that. So here are the things you should check the description for. So number one, I did a couple cool live streams with smart people, Jesse Lakes from Geniuslink, Matt Giovanisi from MoneyLab.co and Listen Money Matters. Matt got hit really hard from the Amazon commission rate change, somewhere to the tune of $176,000 of like lost income, potential income. So that's just an estimate, of course, but he made, over, I can't remember the exact amount, but he made over 300,000 from his website. So he has some employees, and I know a couple of people emailed me and they were just thinking, you know what? I don't really feel sorry for Matt. But he has people working for him. It's not just him making that much money. He has, I think, a team of 3 or 4 other people that are helping him out. So he's running a company. He's not just, a solo dude. He has some people working with him. So really interesting conversation. Also, I have a couple courses that I mentioned. If you're looking for some different kind of side hustle, there's some people who are saying, I don't want to work with Amazon. So there's other options out there for you. In fact, there's endless options. You can start a big company, you can start a small company, you can sell products, you can make things, whatever you want to do. Some of my friends have a course on Etsy printables. Very interesting business model. Seems like very low overhead, quick to get started. You could take advantage of trends and seasonal things coming up. So what, Mother's Day is coming up. Oh, better remember that. Mother's Day is coming up. So you could make printables related to that. Father's Day is in June. You have other holidays. You got July 4th and some other stuff going on. So you can make printables and people go out and buy them. Very interesting business model. Then if you have a niche site and you're thinking, hey, I need to improve the content, I need to audit some things, then maybe you should have a look at the content audit playbook. Robbie Richards and my friends over at Internet Marketing Gold, IMG, are putting that out. So that's, I think there's a few more days that you can enroll, but not too many. And I did leave a few minutes. Nobody's really talking about the funnel, so I'm going to take it as no one cares about the funnel here. And actually, and I'll put it a different way too. So I will be talking about funnels in the future. A couple times I have mentioned it, but it turns out that is a really smart way to run a business that's a lot more defensible than an affiliate marketing site. You can run a service, you can run an agency, which I guess is hand in hand, but you can start small. You can sell courses, you can do info products, you can do a lot of stuff if you have sort of an idea how like these funnels can work. So I know a lot of people were like, I'm not going to work with this anymore. I'm not going to do affiliate marketing. I just can't take it, blah, blah, blah. And there's many options. I mean, I think affiliate marketing is going to be around in some form or another. Things are going to shift. Okay, Derek wants to see the funnel. I just need one person, to have a small amount of interest. But the thing is, if you do have the funnel in place, it's so fun to work on because there's moving pieces. And if you're thinking, there's a lot of folks out there that are like, you have entrepreneur ADD, which I just say, you got to focus, you got to focus. And people are going after shiny object after shiny object. Doing the funnel stuff, it will satisfy and quench your thirst to do new things because there's so many things to learn. Basically, I'll just lay a couple things out. There's a lot of technology pieces that you have to put together, and you have to have like the core product that you're going to sell, whether it's a service or a physical product or an info product. You have to have that part down. You have to have the technology, and you have to have the marketing piece. So I'm at a spot where I put together a bunch of things, and because I am retooling some of the course, I'm doing some other things, and I'm ready to do more courses. Basically, I'm going to pull apart the technology stack, and I'm going to do a better job this time. I'm going to buy a better tool, something a little bit closer to what's going on. All right, now I'll hit a question before I do the funnel. All right, Ahmed says, what is the proper way to run ads at micro niche sites? Please guide if possible. My guide to you, Ahmed, please listen. I thought I made it pretty clear before, but I guess I didn't. Don't run ads to an Amazon site. If you're asking the question, there's no way you're going to make it profitable. You're just going to be flushing the money away. The margins were small before. It is even smaller now. There is no way, Ahmed, that you can make ads to an Amazon site profitable. If you are asking the question. If you are Amazon, if you have some other insight knowledge, if you have a huge website, you may be able to figure out how to do it. But if you're asking how to run ads to the site, you can't do it. There's no way you're going to make it work. So just move on, get it out of your head. It's not going to be profitable. You're better off just flushing the money down the toilet, or burn it. Burn the money. If you flush it down the toilet, you're going to clog your toilet up. Okay. And Derek asks if I'm using funnel hacking with Russell. So the funny thing is, I've had a lot of people say, yeah, Russell Brunson is, so awesome, but I couldn't get past his ads. So I would see his ads and I was like, this is not my kind of dude. And I know he makes a lot of money, and people make a lot of money. People make a lot of money selling his funnel software. And teaching about the funnel software to sell the funnel software seems a little masturbatory if you ask me. But everyone's making a shitload of money. So I don't know, but not my thing. I couldn't get past some of the nonsense in his ads. And that's my own issue. But there's a lot of other people that teach like funnels, and you don't have to. I didn't have to essentially just like follow him. I just couldn't get past it. I know some people really like him. So, all right. And I'm just going to check the chat to make sure. All right, I'm going to do a little bit on the funnel design. Give a thumbs up. I don't ask for that so often. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe. If you were watching one of the videos and you saw that I was live and you decided to check it out, please subscribe. You'll get some of those cool interviews coming out next week. At this point in time, I'm publishing like 1 to 2 videos per day. A lot of them are shorter clips from longer interviews, because it turns out a lot of people don't want to watch an hour-and-a-half interview, but they'll watch 8 minutes or so, or 4 minutes or something like that. So do check it out. If you are asking questions about, actually anyone asking questions, definitely you should go to nichesiteproject.com and check out my email list. You can see I have this little graphic here at the bottom. You can go to the site, click the green button, put in your name and email, and I will send you templates, and you will get a lot of cool stuff. Okay, now I am going to try and share my screen. Fingers crossed that it's going to work, because sometimes it doesn't work for us. And I may have to click around a little bit to get it just so. Oh, that actually worked reasonably well. And I'm gonna zoom on in, try and get the chat in here. All right. So basically, I think I saw a couple people in the chat talking about it, but basically, the goal is to sell a product, right? And you can organize the funnel in a certain way. But for me, here's generally how it works. We have the blog. I'm going to do my best to write. Let's try again. We have the blog, and that is Niche Site Project. And then we have YouTube. Sometime in the past, I realized that YouTube was bringing in quite a bit of traffic. Then we also have the podcast. It's a whole other set of people. Some people that listen to podcasts, they don't watch YouTube at all. They literally don't watch YouTube at all. So this is part of it. And then the other thing, which we're doing right now, all right, we're doing this whole thing right now. The other part is I want people to get on the email list, because with email, I have a little bit more control. People see the emails if they want to. Sometimes they end up going to the the promotions tab. So, but basically I have not control, but just more control versus, for example, if someone were to think, hey, I'm going to start a Facebook group, and I don't know why this video window is not showing my video in there. Huh. All right. So basically I have more control if I'm sending emails. If I am building a platform on Instagram, if I'm doing it on Facebook, for example. Facebook groups are super popular right now. I bet before too long, maybe it's 2 years, I don't know how long, but I bet it's going to be a lot harder for people in Facebook groups to get their content seen. That is exactly what happened with Facebook before. And people with Instagram, it's even harder to get people off of Instagram or social media. Sure, you can get traffic from different areas, but sometimes it's a lot harder. So I like this, basically it's organic traffic from these two sources heading over to the email list. And once they're on the email list, I send some helpful stuff. So that is key. You got to send those templates. It does need to be helpful content. And for me, I'm giving it all away here. So basically for me personally, I did, years of analysis before I realized this, but roughly 30 days of good free content here. 30 days of good free content. And then on my evergreen funnel, I then try to sell my course, which is 5-figure niche site here. And you can see the shape of the funnels right here. So that is the funnel. And you can see it starts broad. There's a lot of people up here that they never make it further down the funnel. It starts wide. There's a much bigger audience up here. That's great. Some people don't care. There's a lot of people, especially on the podcast side and the blog side, that are very advanced. They are, bigger bloggers than me. They are people that do a lot of like very interesting work. And they may not end up ever being a customer. It's not a perfect fit, but I talk about some advanced topics. And the key is up here, and can we change colors? If I can get over, I can't quite see the window here, but the thing is, you want to talk about, in this area, you got to hit topics that essentially are interesting to the people that would eventually buy something down here. So if I talked about super popular stuff like Tiger King on my podcast, which I literally did, if I talk about Tiger King stuff, they're probably, people that are interested in just purely Tiger King, they may not want to buy the course. So it's kind of important that you hit topics in all these areas primarily that will eventually sign up for your email list, find your work engaging, and then eventually buy something. Each step along the way, you have some conversion rate and the audience dwindles, but this is how it works. This is not like groundbreaking stuff. This has been around for quite a long time, but the cool part is it works really well. It works really well if you put the time into it. You will see, for example, like the funnel hacker kind of people, the funnel hacker kind of folks, the funnel hacker kind of folks, they a lot of times will, let's see here, this is what I want to show. I'm having trouble. There. The funnel hacker kind of folks will tell you, yeah, you could run ads. And this is where probably Ahmed is thinking, oh, well, I see people talking about running ads, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty difficult to run ads, and you need to have a certain amount of budget to allocate to educate yourself on the audience and what they like. So basically, you have to spend a lot of money to even understand what you need to advertise. If you do not know, and you try and run ads, and you watched a couple of videos and people were like, all I did was I run ads, and then I give a tripwire offer for $7, and then some percentage of people buy the product that costs $700, so I get I get my traffic for free. That is possible. That is 100% possible. That is really hard to do, though. You have to have money to invest, and you have to know how to run the ads. And you could learn. I dabbled with this, and then eventually I stopped running the ads. I couldn't take, to be honest with you, I couldn't take the comments that were coming in on Facebook ads, because I'm in the make money online area, so there's a lot of jackasses. So a ton of people were just jerks, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do this slower, and I'm doing fine. I don't feel the urge, and I don't have the need to scale and grow really huge. I was like, I'm just going to do this organically, and it's going to be slower, and it's going to be harder to get people in the door. But the people that find me are going to hang around, like Dan for 2 years. And Derek, I've known Derek since the beginning, 2013. So the people that, you know, if you're taking a little slower approach and you're stubborn like me, you could eventually make it work out and it won't be so bad. Okay. So people were asking about the funnel. Hopefully that was interesting. And I see some chat stuff here. So the overall point is, yes, it is possible to run the ads and make it work. You have to have a good offer. You got to have the market fit. You have to have the audience fit. You have to understand the copywriting. And like I said, if you're interested in like selling your own products, then the funnel design stuff will keep you so busy and so occupied. I spent a lot of money on courses on each one of those pieces. So that evergreen funnel that I mentioned before, that 30-day period, I took a whole course on evergreen funnels, and I have software, right? So I'll come to that in a second, and then we'll see if we could finish it up here. Okay, and I'm just double checking. Okay, and Justin is asking if I use ClickFunnels for affiliate marketing. No, and ClickFunnels, that's Russell Brunson's group, right? This is when I was first designing this, it was way too expensive for me to, you know, casually dabble into it. And I think it was actually relatively cheaper than it is now. So I think it was a little cheaper back then, but it was still too expensive. I feel like it was like $100 some odd dollars per month, something like that. And I'm kind of technical. I'm a kind of a DIY kind of person. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this other software that maybe doesn't do everything automatically, but I can make it work. So that's what I did. You know, that's what I did. And at this point, and again, I'll talk about the software. At this point, I'm probably going to go with Kajabi, which is very expensive. I think it's, especially if you end up getting one of the higher end packages, it's like $160 a month, something like that. It does a lot of stuff though, which I'll talk about in a second. All right. Yes. Bradbury says, you mean we're in the funnel right now? Yes, exactly. You are in the funnel right now. And thanks for the people who left the thumbs up. I do appreciate it. And if you have the opportunity to, and you haven't hit the thumbs up, go for it. Do it. All right, I'm going to share my screen one more time and just kind of tell you about the software, the tech stack that I have Frankenstein together. And it wasn't intentional, you know, like with what I know now, I would do things a little bit differently, but I mean, it's expensive to get the all encompassing software. So where's my pen here? All right. So basically with the software that I have, and we'll start, I'm not going to draw the funnel out in the same way, but I'll just tell you the software that I'm using. So I do have Aweber, right? So I've started with Aweber. I've stuck with Aweber. They had kind of a antiquated situation, but at this point it is fine. You can tag users, you could do whatever you need to do. So that is the email service provider. So I have Aweber. And then I have my own blog over at Niche Site Project, and that is WordPress, of course. And then I capture emails with Opt-in Monster, which is fine. But to be honest with you, I struggled for quite a while to get my site to load faster. And Opt-in Monster is the thing that is holding me back right now. My site would probably load in half a second if I didn't have Opt-in Monster. It has so many like calls and so much garbage in there. And I've tried to work with the tech team. I actually identified some bug that they had. It was like loading huge images that I wasn't using. And they had to get like a senior developer to fix it. I don't know if it was just on my instance, but I was like, what is going on? Because I was going through every line, every call So opt-in monster to basically it's like pop-ups, two-step opt-ins. All right, so we got that. The course software is Zippy Courses on WordPress, and that is self-hosted. That integrates with a couple things in a very poor way. Turns out the WordPress plugin ecosystem is just a piece of shit. So if you see something that says that it's like, hey, we integrate with X, Y, and Z, I'm pretty sure they didn't test the software that they said that they would work with because it didn't fucking work. All right, so I have affiliate WP for the handful of affiliates, which, actually affiliates don't sell much for me. It's not an open program, and I only work with my friends, people I know. So I have people, actually somebody emailed me last week and they're like, hey man, I've been doing really good. I'm going to be starting a blog and I want to offer your course. Can you let me sign up? And I was like, who are you? And what's your audience? Like what are you talking about now? So I have affiliate WP, which I didn't write out all the way. So it's affiliate. Now my pen is not writing for me here. What's happening? Boom, boom. Let's try and click away. Let's click away and come back. This is weird. All right, I'm going to come back here for a second and maybe I'll just tell you. I'll just tell you out loud. Okay, so I have affiliate WP going as well. So that allows people to sell my course as an affiliate. Then I also have software called Deadline Funnel, and that allows you to run a deadline. There's certain mechanisms that I was kind of doing to launch, but there's some sophistication that comes with Deadline Funnel, and it was very helpful to implement an evergreen funnel. After that, so we have those couple things. I think I was listing out all the software on a notebook the other day, which I don't have because I need it now. But let's see. Deadline Funnel. I also use Webinar Jam. So I have Inner Circle coaching calls, which is one of the most valuable parts of the course. And each one of these pieces of software, and I have Zapier too. So Zapier links up a few of the pieces. Sometimes things don't integrate like they're supposed to, and Zapier can help you out. It's a funny thing, I signed up for Zapier and then the integration popped up. So I'm paying, I think, this is a ballpark. So for Deadline Funnel, I think I'm paying like $400 or $500 per year. Webinar Jam, $400 or $500. Zippy Courses, about $200 per year. And Deadline Funnel is $400 or $500 per year. Okay, just to be clear, not per month. Webinar Jam, $400 or $500 per year, roughly. Zapier, $400 or $500 per year. Opt-in Monster, it used to be like $150 per year, and then I think it's like $400 now. For email, I'm paying something like $150 per month. So with Kajabi, right? So I haven't signed up yet. With Kajabi, it basically does all of the stuff. And technically, I think you could host your website on Kajabi. But I like having my own WordPress installation. In the future, perhaps not. But you can quickly, do the math and see that, if I'm paying $160 per month for Kajabi and it does email and all the funnel, like it keeps track of everything, right? It's all integrated. You don't have to rely on the interfaces between all these different pieces of software, which inevitably break. I mean, it was a nightmare to get affiliate WP and Zippy Courses to work together. I had to put on my old job hat, and basically I was like, guys, like this piece doesn't work, like test it yourselves on your own environment. Don't test it on my like live production. Like there's students on the course, you can't test it on my environment. Go test it yourselves. You obviously didn't test it beforehand. So anyway, moving to a more unified platform is scary because it does give up control to like one company, right? But the fact that I've had such a hard time, and the thing is, I didn't like all of a sudden think, hey, I'm going to piece together this set of software that, they say it works. In this case, I knew, like I was using Aweber already. I had WordPress already. And I slowly added pieces on. So first it was Zippy Courses. I was like, oh, I'm going to self-host it. This is actually pretty good software to host this whole thing. And then I added on Opt-in Monster. And then I added on affiliates. And then I went to an evergreen funnel and deadline. So over the course of like 4 to 5 years, that's how, these 7 pieces of software ended up Frankenstein together. It mostly works. And I've been hesitant because a lot of people know whenever you end up like migrating off of a tool, things are going to break. Yeah, so things are going to break. And there have been opportunities where I was like, I could switch over, but I'm like, no, it's going to break. Turns out right now, because I'm changing things up, I'm going to be putting out more courses, smaller courses, cheaper courses here in the future. It makes total sense to just migrate off. I know how the funnel design. I mean, this exercise is one that I was going to do on my own and just write out the funnel. Here's how it works. I'm going to go way more in depth than I just did here. But like basically, I'll be able to dismantle the funnel, tear it all apart, put it into fewer like software products, basically. I will be able to execute this with fewer software products. So initially I was thinking, maybe I'll keep Deadline Funnel going on. And I'll use Teachable and I'll keep Aweber. So it's like separate little pieces. It should mostly work together. But one of my friends was telling me that she uses Kajabi and she was like, I'm not technical. It's so easy for me to put together a course. I have the lowest plan. And I started looking at the marketing sophistication and I was like, I could do everything over there. Well, that's a no-brainer, especially if it works, because Kajabi's been around for a while. Okay, so I'm going to hop over to the chat, and I think we'll finish it up here. Highly encourage people to check out the live stream that I did with Matt Giovanisi earlier this week. Someone's asking what's $300 a month. I think we were talking about Kajabi potentially. That was, if you get the highest tier plan, but it's basically for like someone who has like a lot of courses and a million people on their email list. Like that's the kind of stuff. So if you have that many, if you need the plan, they cost $300 a month. $300 a month is not very much money. To be honest with you, all the shit that I just described here, I'm paying over $300 a month for all the things that I just mentioned. It's not necessarily cheap. Okay. And Justin was just talking about whatever kind of funnel. But yeah, it turns out I don't like the personality of the guy. I think it's just a persona, right? I know he's not really like that. But the ads just kind of turned me off and I was like, I don't want to do that. All right, Tiff is on. What's going on? And as I'm looking here, all right, a couple people are just complimenting me, so I'm definitely going to read that out. Okay. Dan says, if it weren't for KGR, I wouldn't give Doug the time of day. He hooked me. Nice. Matthew says, Doug gives the best practical advice to get started. Simple and easy. KGR works very well if you follow his advice. And yeah, cool. Thanks for that, Matthew. Bradbury says, the problem with putting lots of pieces in one place is they can lock you in at some point in the future, like having your home, TV, internet. Yes. And that is precisely the fear. When I was telling my wife, I was like, hey, I'm going to move off this, like all this bullshit and go to Teachable and, keep a lot of this stuff the same. She was like, oh, do you want to give Teachable so much control? And I was like, yes, I can't wait. 'Cause I mean, they could do a little bit more, but then when I looked at Kajabi, I was like, they could do so much. And yes, Bradbury, you're 100% right. That is the risky part. But I'm hoping, right? So this is like an opportunity for me to, move away. I can reorganize things. And as I'm reorganizing it, because I know a lot more now than I did 4 years ago as far as the funnel goes. So hopefully I'll be able to keep it modular in many ways so that I can pull things apart in a smart way if I need to. Hopefully I won't need to. All right. Last question here. Jamie says, do I use KGR on the age websites or do I move on to something else? So, one other thing that I forgot to tell you is coming out next week. I have an update on the age site case study. Jamie, are you familiar with the age site case study? Because I was busy moving and packing and buying a house and doing other stuff. And now, whenever you got to do a lot of stuff, there's something that comes up. So there will be an update for the age site case study. It's record traffic, record traffic. Earnings creeping up, they didn't follow along as much with the traffic, but it's like more traffic, just more and more. It's amazing. So the answer to the question is, it depends on what's going on with your site. If your site is, let's say you buy a site, it's 5 years old, it has like some good content and you want to add more and you want to get more traffic and just overall like boost the site, I would check out the keyword golden ratio. You can be more generous with the formula. You can do search volumes that are higher if you have an age site. You could test and see what's going on. So instead of 250 searches per month, maybe you go up to 720 or 1,000 or 1,500, whatever you want. You could test it out. Maybe you don't go for under 0.25. Maybe you go for 0.7, something like that. But if you're looking, like if I bought a brand new site if I bought a site and it was aged, I would most likely do at least, 20 to, big range here, but 20 to 80 KGR post, and then interlink like crazy, because you get a secondary effect, I believe, if you are publishing a lot of content and then from that content, you're interlinking to the rest of your site. And from the rest of your site, you're interlinking to the new content. There's a good chance you're going to rank for more stuff. You're going to get an overall boost. So I haven't done specific testing on that, but in general, those are my observations from my sites and other people's as well. So cool. I think that's it for today. I'm going to go out for a walk. We had a small hailstorm earlier right before we started, but I think it's clear now and I can go outside. So anyway, keep an eye out for 5-Figure Niche site coming out next week, plus all the cool content. So even if you don't get the course or it's not the right time for you or whatever, there's awesome content coming out, inspiring content. Justin's going to be joining us live and all that. Everybody have a good weekend. We'll see you next week.